This morning on the Hill, a budget crisis at SUNY ESF as enrollment craters. See student reaction ahead.
Plus, a new partnership with Newhouse and Sony gives students access to the latest tech. Our sit down with the company's president coming up.
Plus, there was some rain the last few days. Is it going to stick? Coming up on Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning and welcome into Mornings on the Hill. I'm Eric McCormick.
And I'm Luke Radel. We'll begin with the upsetting news out of Walnut Park. 2 SU students are in Syracuse police custody after a potential hate crime. It is our top story this morning. Last night, members of Jewish fraternity Zeta Beta Tau were celebrating Rosh Hashanah when, according to a campus-wide email sent by Chief Student Experience Officer Alan Groves, a student, quote, reportedly entered the fraternity house and threw meat, believed to be pork, on the floor.
Groves says the student is not a member of the fraternity. The student then ran out of the house and got into a car driven by a second student. Both were caught by DPS and turned over to Syracuse police. Groves says, quote, a decision on specific criminal charges will be made by local authorities in the coming days, including whether to charge it as an anti-Semitic hate crime. The students were also referred to the university's Community Standards Office for potential violations of the Code of Conduct.
Groves went on to say, quote, tonight's incident, as reported to us, is abhorrent, shocking to the conscience, and violates our core value of being a place that is truly welcoming to all. It will not be tolerated at Syracuse University, end quote. The students arrested have not yet been named. Well, SUNY ESF is facing serious financial troubles. Administrators are now planning big cuts, and that has students and staff worried about what comes next. Our Gabriella Peniston is live with us in studio with more.
That's right. ESF has run a total of $13 million in deficits recently. Now the school plans to cut $3 million in salary expenses by 2026, leaving students and faculty uncertain about the future.
At SUNY ESF, students are facing a future filled with uncertainty. The school has run deficits of $13 million in just the past 2 years. The college ran an $8 million deficit from 2023 to 2024 and another $5 million just last year. And now, administrators plan to cut $3 million in salary expenses by 2026.
So they started cutting some positions, so a lot of people who expected to have a position all of a sudden didn't, and then you have to find ways to pay rent, pay your own tuition, make money while you're doing school.
The plan starts with a voluntary buyout program for older employees. But if that doesn't save enough money, layoffs and program cuts could follow.
First of all, this is a very environmental focused school, and that's not very popular right now with the government, which is where we get a good amount of funding from, right? Because it's a state school.
But students say that the value of their education is at stake.
Yeah, it's kind of like scary, especially looking into the future. Like if I need another year to finish my project, it's basically to the point where I'm not going to have any funding and I'm not going to have any financial support to stay here and finish my project.
Enrollment at ESF keeps increasing, and students and faculty worry that this number will either decrease or be left without the proper amount of resources.
But it's still really drastic because now we're going to start seeing like less instructors for lab positions and bigger classes and less like instructional support for those undergrads who are really going to feel the brunt of it.
The deadline for voluntary buyouts is late October. Until then, students and staff are left waiting to see just how deep these budget cuts will go.
So it would be really nice to see like the SUNY administration actually listen to us and listen to our needs and try to help us based on what we want instead of what they think should happen.
And while administrators push for fiscal stability, students are working on ways to get attention, hoping their voices are part of the solution. I'm Gabriella Peniston for NTC News. Luke and Eric, back to you.
Thanks, Gabby. Another major company is collaborating with the university. Our Madison Diaz is here with a deal the first of its kind.
Hey guys, that's right. Last week, Newhouse announced a partnership with Sony Electronics. The partnership is a year in the making, but the relationship isn't brand new. Sony's been working with Newhouse for about 10-15 years now. Sony's president of Imaging Products Americas, Teresa Alesso, stopped by Newhouse and says the expanded relationship is mutually beneficial.
I believe as a best-in-class technology partner, we're very much interested in being sure that we shape the future of the creators. We're really looking forward at the future of what those technologies look like, how storytellers need to tell their story, and in that regard, Sony can help the students and faculty of Syracuse.
Does that mean for students? Alesso says it means hands-on experience with the latest technology and mentorship opportunities. But if you're a frequent Newhouse Cage user, don't panic just yet. The Canon XF705 cameras aren't going anywhere.
We'll never switch over only Sony. We've got Nikon, we've got Canon. It would be unfair to the students to have only one brand of camera to work with.
Okay.
About the partnership and the opportunities it will bring for Newhouse students. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Madison Diaz. Back to you guys.
Madison, thank you. This next story was written by a human being, I promise, but it is about AI. All SU students have expanded access now to Claude, the AI program powered by Anthropic, thanks to a new partnership with the university announced just this week. Students using Claude for education will get higher usage limits, the ability to share projects with other users, and the ability to process documents of over 500 pages in length. The program will not train on student and educator data. If you want to use the program, you can email ITS at getclaude.syr.edu. Time now for a first look at our forecast with the incomparable Holden Sherman. Eric, are you excited to see what he's got in store for us today?
You know I'm excited to see, what he might be cooking up today.
All right, let's see it. Holden?
Oh, hey guys. Sorry, I was just chillaxing and relaxing, as we say during the nice weather times, because just because it turned fall does not mean that we're getting those fall temperatures right now. It's hovering around 70 degrees for the rest of the day. We might get some rain around 11 p.m., but just a very little amount. And I'll have your 5-day forecast coming up. I'm going to continue to enjoy the summer weather temperatures with my nice, cool gazpacho. Guys?
Thank you, Holden. Much appreciated.
ABC brought back Jimmy Kimmel back for his late-night comedy show, but if you tried to watch him here in Syracuse, you were out of luck.
Yeah, our Alex Grondin is here to share what he had to say last night and why the fight over free speech isn't over yet, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Now, it was a week ago today when the Disney-owned media conglomerate ABC announced it was suspending Jimmy Kimmel's late-night show indefinitely. Back on air last night, here's what Kimmel had to say about his comments and free speech.
I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. A guy in Germany offered me a job. Can you imagine? This country has become so authoritarian, the Germans are like, come here.
Now, a lot has happened over the course of the last 9 days, so let's break it down for you. Now, some people took offense to Kimmel's comments last Monday when he said that he felt the right was politicizing the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The announcement of Kimmel's suspension came hours after FCC Chair Brendan Carr called Kimmel's comments, quote, truly sick, and noted Kimmel could face repercussions. Now, since the announcement, fellow late-night hosts, including Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, and many others, said it was an infringement on the freedom of speech. The breaking news on Monday was ABC's announcement of Kimmel's return. They wrote in a statement, quote, we have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we've reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. Following the announcement, both Sinclair and Nexstar, the two largest ABC affiliate owns, announced that they would not be airing Jimmy Kimmel Live. Nexstar, which owns WSYR9 in Syracuse, the ABC affiliate, said that they would not be airing it, so people in Syracuse could not watch it. Finally, Kimmel's first show was last night. He is set to be on air tomorrow night at 11:35. It is not clear whether we will be able to see it in Syracuse. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Alex Grondin. Eric, Luke, back to you guys.
Thanks, Alex. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, our Holden Sherman will have your full weather forecast.
Stay with us.
Welcome back. Syracuse finally has some rain. Ryan Story joins us live to report on the long-awaited break in Syracuse's dry spell.
Thanks, Eric. Syracuse has been hit hard by a drought recently, but Mother Nature appears to be easing up on the dryness. Rain showers started yesterday and will likely continue throughout the week. Syracuse is finally getting some relief from the relentless heat. Droughts have plagued nearly all of upstate New York over the past few months, but the rain has already begun. However, some Syracuse University students are not pleased with the change. Colin Smith said that his club lacrosse team's practice has been outside every day thanks to the sunny weather.
It's been enjoyable that I haven't had to pick up my raincoat like I normally have to when I'm in Syracuse.
Anthony Iannazone said the rain will be a minor setback for his walks to his job at the Barnes Center every day.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be great, but it won't change. I'll try to still pick up as many shifts as possible and get in there to lift as much as possible.
Colin agreed that some rainy weather wouldn't stop him from making it to practice.
No, we'll still go, whether or not there's rain.
While SU students may not like it, the rain will be much appreciated across the multiple New York counties that are in or near stages of drought, while also bringing some green back to the dried out lawns. Another dry stretch is on the horizon, but Syracuse University students have their chance to enjoy the rain this week. Reporting live, I'm Ryan Story for Mornings on the Hill.
Thanks, Ryan. Speaking of rain, it's time to check your weather for today.
All right, our Holden Sherman is now in studio with us with a full look at your weather forecast. Hey, Holden.
Hi, guys. So as Ryan's excellent story talks about, we are going to get some rain, but I'll get to that in a moment. But right now, here are your regional temperatures, just hovering around the 60s. No difference temperature-wise significantly if you're closer to the lake or not closer to the lake. Just a nice 60-degree day, and expect temperatures to go around 70 degrees throughout the region. Now I want to give you guys a look at your 5-day forecast, and for it, you're actually going to need a raincoat and an umbrella. So I happily have that. So you'll be able to enjoy these the next few days, and then the fun starts. And we're going to go back to not only summer temperatures, but also summer breezes. And so on Saturday, you can go to the Duke-Syracuse football game at noon, but also starting today, there's going to be sunset cruises in Baldwinsville where you can have cocktails, mocktails, and nice drinks that I think you guys all should go check out. Guys?
Thanks, Holden. Why don't we get to wear Hawaiian shirts on the desk?
I know.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Hawaiian shirts and sunset cruises. What a life.
Feeling tropical.
Fog machines, walkouts, and a packed crowd. And no, I'm not talking about the Dome. I'm talking about the Shine Gaming and Esports Center.
Yeah, that's right. SU just hosted the biggest in-person esports match in college history. Our Hannah Beam reports.
Syracuse University made esports history this weekend, hosting the largest in-person collegiate regular season match ever. Teams from Syracuse, Michigan State, Boise State, and Nebraska-Lincoln battled in Rocket League under the lights of the Shine Esports Center.
This is the first time we ever utilized the facility the way we did with the fog machines, the haze, the lights, player walkouts. So there were a lot of extra bells and whistles added to what we're normally used to, like a practice night like tonight. So my job was to kind of put myself in there, making sure I was really attentive during all the dress rehearsals, knowing what little things might come our way so that we can just stay focused and get the job done.
Broadcasters kept the energy high and the audience matched it, turning the competition into a full-on show.
It was a celebration, it was a competition, and it was a show. And it was just an incredible feeling to get to be a part of that.
Gamers say being in the same room as their rivals adds an edge you just can't get online.
Every college esports player that we have here and around the country loves the idea of LAN, which is that in-person environment. That is where I play a lot better than when I don't get to see the opponent.
This past weekend proved that Syracuse University can host esports on a stage as big as any other sport on campus. While the only lag here was me trying to keep up with the Rocket League pros, one thing is clear. This is a win not just for the Orange, but for the future of college gaming. For NCC News, I'm Hannah Beam.
Hannah, thanks so much. Well, as the UN General Assembly continues right now in New York City, our Anton Cox is here to break it all down, including President Trump's fiery address yesterday. Good morning, Anton.
Good morning, guys. In an hour-long speech to a global audience, President Trump made several declarations about the UN. Speaking on the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza, Trump criticized the organization's role as a mediator around the world.
Role
they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war.
In particular, the war in Gaza has been a key topic at the summit. 11 countries have announced their recognition of a Palestinian state since Sunday. Among them, France, who with Saudi Arabia, recently co-hosted a conference promoting a two-state resolution. As Trump called recognition a, quote, reward for Hamas, French President Emmanuel Macron argued a different perspective.
We experience all together these horrific attacks, but at the same time you have as many Hamas fighters as you had the first day. So it doesn't work to dismantle the Hamas. This is not the right way to proceed.
The assembly runs into the beginning of next week, finishing off on September 29th. Luke, Eric?
Thanks, Anton. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, Syracuse sports around the university.
Yeah, some big news coming out of our football program in particular, coming up in sports when we return.
Rise and shine, Orange fans. I'm Victoria Daly with your morning sports update around the Hill. Let's jump right into it. Syracuse women's soccer was defeated on Sunday 3-0 to Virginia. Despite the loss, goalkeeper Shea Vanderbosch equaled her season best total with 10 saves, moving her into second place in Syracuse's careers save list. The Orange look to bounce back tomorrow in Berkeley as they face the University of California. Jumping over to the men's side, last night they defeated Colgate. Carlos Zambrino had a hat trick, giving Cuse its first home win this season. With a 3-0 victory, coach Ian McIntyre collected his 142nd win with the SU, making him the winningest coach in program history. Now let's jump over to SU field hockey, who started the season at 6-0. Overtime loss on Friday to Wake Forest and Sunday's match to 3-seed Virginia. They look to bounce back Friday versus Duke. And to round out SU athletics, let's head over to football. Syracuse defeated Clemson 34-21 in Death Valley, their first ever win there. Coach Fran Brown was named National Coach of the Week for his team's success. The Orange defense came up big with key fourth down stops and a late interception. Steve Angeli threw 2 touchdowns before exiting with a torn Achilles. With Angeli's injury, uncertainty does loom over the remainder of the season as the Orange are about to enter their ACC play. But our Sydney Coulee has more on who needs to step up. Sydney?
Thanks, Victoria. What she said is 100% true. With Steve Angeli out for the rest of the season, LSU transfer Ricky Collins now has to step up and become the leader Coach Fran once saw in him. At LSU, the 4-star recruit appeared in 4 games over 2 seasons, completing 7 of his pass attempts for 38 yards and rushing for 37 on 7 carries. This initially serving as QB2 for the Orange, Collins got his first action when Syracuse dominated Colgate. He struggled early throwing a pick, but he quickly regrouped and threw an absolute dime to Gabe Daniels on his next drive. Most recently against Clemson, Collins took 2 sacks, but then connected with Justin Ross Simmons for a clutch 18-yard touchdown, helping extend Syracuse's lead. His dual threat ability is obvious, but that gunslinger mentality needs to be reined in. Collins brings more athleticism and mobility to the position. The arm strength is there. The question is about his poise, his decision-making, and command in big moments. It is expected for offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon to simplify reads, lean into run-pass options, and use Collins' legs to build confidence. He has the tools, a solid run game, an improving O-line, and one of the deepest receiver rooms in the ACC. With Duke coming up ahead, the role is now his. But the question, does he know that? Victoria, back to you.
Thanks so much, Sydney. And if you want a little bit more SU football content, you're in luck as our reporter Troy Junn is here. And Troy's going to break down the SU offense a little bit deeper for us.
Yes, Syracuse has been really predicated on the pass game for the past 2 seasons, right? One of the best offenses in the country the last 2 seasons. And as Sydney mentioned, they have a really deep receiver room to help out new quarterback Ricky Collins. We're talking about Justice Ross Simmons, Dan Villari, Jonte Cook, and Daryl Gale. All have been really improved from comparison to last season, both making already all have improvements into their catch in terms of their catches, their pace in terms of their receiving yards from last year. Dan Villari made the jump from 6 catches to 20, backing up for now NFL tight end Oronde Gadsden. Justice Ross Simmons already has 5 touchdowns this year. That's second in the ACC. Jonte Cook had 16 total catches in his first 2 years of collegiate play. He now has 18. Daryl Gillis averaged 22.3 yards per reception. That's one of the top 5 in the entire country. Syracuse has been just, you can see from the last few years. You talked about Oronde Gadsden, Jackson Meeks from last season. Now you're seeing that development come with these guys stepping up from last season. Villari again, a guy that barely played last year, you felt, had a big role 2 years ago. Now he's back into a significant role, one of the better receiving tight ends in the entire ACC. The story of this Cuse receiving room has been just all these opportunities given to these guys, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they utilize this offense with Ricky Collins because of his running ability.
Thanks so much, Troy. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. I have one message to leave you with this morning, and that is for our football team. Beat Duke. Beat Duke. That's all that matters. It's a sold-out game on Saturday.
I'm so excited.
Are you guys all going to be there?
I will certainly be there, 12 o'clock kickoff or not. I will be front and center, ready to go, whether most of the other students are or aren't.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be out dartying.
And especially with Ricky Collins now, I feel like everyone wants to come out and see how he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that has brought down ticket prices, right? The fact that our lead QB is out, it's going to be a backup in this game.
I mean, I think it was safe to say that since it's the Parents Weekend game, it got sold out when Angeli was the quarterback already. So hopefully everyone will still come out, though.
I'll say, I've been here for 4 years, so seeing them finally beat Clemson, I'm certainly excited to get back to the Dome.
For the first time ever in Death Valley, which is crazy. I mean, we've gone down there how many times over the course of the past few years? That orange-on-orange matchup, it should be interesting.
We can finally get washed this time after our trip down there.
100%. Victoria, before we let you go, score prediction for Saturday.
Ooh. Obviously, we got to win.
Right.
So I'm going to say maybe 30-21. Let's win by a touchdown.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on that. Thank you so much. That's all the time we have. This has been Mornings on the Hill. I'm Luke Radel.
And I'm Eric McCormick. Thank you and have a great day.